It's Sunday and Lisa Padua has the day off. She's come to this mall along Singapore's main shopping district, which attracts hundreds of foreign domestic workers from the Philippines like her.
We are away from home and we get homesick, we get lonely, and being with this friend, laughing together and eating together our own food and enjoying life. So that's why it's very important that we have a day off like everybody else, because we deserve a rest too.
And that's the way it should be. Earlier this year, Singapore introduced a weekly rest day for all domestic workers. But nearly 10 months on, critics say it's not being enforced.
One activist says Singapore lags behind many countries in its treatment of domestic workers.
Singapore will often compare itself with the best in the world when it comes to business practices, for example, business transparency. But then when it comes to domestic workers, what they tend to do is to compare themselves with the worst and say, we're better than that. So they'll compare themselves with the Gulf countries, for example. But this is really nothing to be proud of.
And there can be horrific consequences of not having a day off. Jane, not her real name, arrived from the Philippines 2 years ago to take up a job as a domestic helper in a Singaporean household.
Every time they punish me, they ask me to go inside the toilet because
they hit her, she says, and punished her by forcing her hands down a toilet full of bleach. She couldn't get help because she wasn't allowed out. Jane is now in a shelter. A day off and a chance to get out alone might have been a lifeline for her. But it's not just rest days. Singapore has abstained from International Labour Organization conventions regulating working hours, minimum wages and maternity protection for domestic workers. They're also exempt from Singapore's Employment Act. Singapore's Ministry of Manpower, which is behind those laws, says employers who fail to give their helpers a weekly rest day or compensate them for working on those days will face stiff penalties, such as jail terms or a hefty fine. But they say the weekly day off was designed to be phased in over 2 years. It will take time. For Jane and others at this shelter escaping abuse, it couldn't come soon enough. Sharon Jitlale, BBC News, Singapore.